Hey everyone, welcome to the ReactJS tutorial. I'm Atharv and today we are going to learn everything from the basics of React to more advanced topics like hooks and state management. By the end of the video, you will have the skills to build dynamic and modern web applications using React. So let's get started. So, what is React? React is a popular JavaScript library for building user interfaces, especially for singly page applications. It's component based and allows you to create reusable UI components, making development efficient. And it was developed by Facebook and has a huge developer community. So before we get started with the React, we need to set up the coding environment or the development environment. You can also go through that these React tutorial, which is provided by W3 schools. And I would just before we dive into coding, let's set up our development environment, and we will need Node.js and npm. So you can download Node.js from its official website. I would just go through the official website. So this is the official website to download Node.js. Actually, I have downloaded, so I need not to download again. So just I would once that's installed, we will create a new React app using this command. So I would just give you the command. So once you are done with the downloading these Node.js package, open VS Code. Now open terminal and just put the command. I would just write the command here. This command sets up a complete React project with everything configured for you. So I would just press enter then. So you can see that it's loading right now. And it states that creating a new React app and the given path. So it's installing right now. And you don't need to create this index.html file. It's not compulsory to create. So before diving into ReactJS tutorial, let's learn first what ReactJS is. So ReactJS is a JavaScript library created by Facebook for building fast and interactive user interfaces for web applications. And it's component based, meaning you can create reusable pieces of UI, making your development faster and easier to manage. It also allows for better performance by only updating parts of the UI that need changes, using something called the virtual DOM. Actually, we would learn about DOM in our coming lectures, and as you have used that command npx create react app my app. So this would install all the packages for using React. Then, meaning this command creates a boilerplate React app with all the configurations you need to start developing. Once the setup is complete, navigate to your project directory and start the server. Using the command, I would just type the command here. So you typing these command would start the development server. Yeah. So you can see that the development server is started and this will open up a development server and you will see the React welcome page in your browser. It's loading now. So yeah, this is the React welcome page. You can see in your browser too. So then we would go with understanding React components. So at the core of the React are the components. A component is essentially a JavaScript function that returns JSX, which looks like HTML but allows you to write dynamic and interactive UIs. So let's create our first functional component called welcome. So I would just start writing the code in VS Code. So now we would start with the coding of the components. So I would just demonstrate how a component works with the code. So open VS Code. So in the VS Code, under the SRC folder, click on the SRC folder, and here you can see two files, index.css and app.css. So you can delete any one of them. I have deleted app.css file from the SRC folder. So once you have deleted that file, now open that app.js file. So in the app.js file, you need to just to remove all these stuff. So in the development server, you can see that it's a welcome page. So we need to remove these so that we can just code our examples here and see the result. So we need to just comment out these lines. So I am commenting out these lines, and you need to remove all the stuffs in the function app. So I am just deleting all these stuff. You need to also delete that to see the development server working. So yeah, once you have deleted this, you can see the development server now. Uh, Actually, I closed the development server just a minute. So once you delete all the stuffs from the app.js file, you can see that the development server is now a blank page. So now we can start coding. So yeah, I would just write the first function here, and it goes like this. I would just first write the code and then explain you. Now I would just show you that development server. Yeah, you can see here that the hello world is printed on the screen. So now I would explain you what's happening in the code. So here we are defining a functional component called welcome and which returns a h1 element displaying hello world. React will take this JSX and render it into an actual HTML on your web page. Let's import and use it in our app.js file. So you see the result on the development server. Now I would just show you how JSX and props works. So now let's talk about JSX, and JSX is a syntax extension that allows you to write HTML like code inside your JavaScript. So it looks like HTML but can also accept JavaScript expressions. So we can also pass data into components using props, which are like arguments in a function. So I would just give you another example of the code. So I am writing another code here. Oh, let's do one thing. I would just change in the welcome itself, so it's easy to understand and it would not take much time. So in the arguments I am passing as props. Now I would show you the development server. Here in the props, now you can see the result on the development server. The world is not printing up here. So I would just explain you the code here. So in this example, the welcome component receives a prop called name. So prop, in another words, prop can also be said as a variable. So it can take any value. So in this example, the welcome component receives a prop called name, and we are dynamically displaying the value of props.name. So using curly braces inside the JSX, this is how we make components reusable by passing different data to them. Okay, now then we would start with state and set state. So I would just say you what are set and set state. So props are great for passing data to the components like we have seen now. Okay. So yeah, but what if you need to manage data within the components? So that's where a state comes in. State allows components to remember values between renders. So let's see it in action using use state hook. So we would see the example of set and set state. So I would just code in here. So yeah, I would just start coding. For it, you need to import some functions from the library. So with me, you can also code together. Yeah, some error is coming. So I would just see what the error is. Yeah, so I would just show you the development server now. So yeah, on incrementing, you can see that the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is increasing. So it's the usage of button. So what are we doing here? So I would just show you the code here. So we are using use state to create a state variable named as count, and which is initialized to 0. Okay. So the set count function allows us to update the state, and every time the button is clicked, the set count increments the count by 1, and the React re-renders the component to display the updated value. So actually, are you getting what I am said just? So we are using these count button, which is initialized to 0, and on clicking the increment button, it is increasing the count variable by 1. Now we will study about lifecycle methods and use effect. So in class components, lifecycle methods like component did mount and component did update and component will unmount handle side effects. So in functional components, we use the use effect hook. So let's build a simple timer to demonstrate how use effect works. Okay, so let's build a simpler timer. Okay, good, great. So I would just start typing the code here. You can just follow me and just type the code in the VS Code editor. It would be nice that if you code with me, as it would allow you to keep interest in the video and watch till the end. So these import is to be done before writing our code, because as this is the library that we use for using the use effect and lifecycle methods. So I would just write the function here. You can see that as we proceed with writing new code line each time, you can see some changes in the terminal. These are because of an extension called live server, which saves your code and runs on the server what changes you have coded. So it's nice. If you want that, I would make sure that you can learn this too in the video if time permits. You need to increase your typing speed so that you can just code efficiently and in time, because as these large projects require a long time to be coded. Yeah, we just need to export this default timer. So now we would just export it. And showing two errors because I have write the wrong spelling of default, and yeah, just we need to comment out this export because we can't export two at the same time. So yeah, I'm commenting out this, and I would just see on the development server what changes have been made. There are some errors in the app, so I would just go through the code once. Let me check what's the problem in here. So yeah, I'm just checking what the problem occurred. So I just found out the error I was because of which the live server was not working properly. So here I just saw that I have right to import React statements like import use state also, and I have also written the second line that import React use state with use effect. So I have imported use state two times. So I just need to comment out the first line. So on commenting out the first line, uh, and now I would open the live server. So yeah, you can see here I would refresh this using Control R. So yeah, you can see that it's incrementing auto incrementing seconds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So I would just explain you the code now, and here you can see that the code is very easy to understand, and here use effect sets up a timer that updates the seconds state every second. Okay, so the function returned by use effect cleans up the interval and when the component unmounts, preventing memory leaks. So it's a very simple and easy to understand code. So I would just now start with conditional rendering. So what is conditional renderings? So sometimes we need to render different UI. Okay. So sometimes we need to render different UI elements based on a condition. Okay. So in React, we can achieve conditional rendering using JavaScript logic inside JSX. So I would just give a live demo of conditional rendering. So I would just write the code up here and would give you the so I would just type the code, and it is suggested that you should also type with me so it would engage you in proper learning. And yeah, that's it. I am saying again to increase your typing speed as it would just help you for future endeavors. It is showing two errors. Just we need to comment out the first export statement, that is export default timer, and now it is compiled properly. So I would just open the live server now. So I would refresh it. So it shows please sign in. So what is this? So in this example, we check if is logged in, it is a function is logged in is true or false. Based on that condition, React will render welcome back if the user is logged in, or please sign in otherwise. So actually I'm not logged in, so it is rendering please sign in. So yeah, it's a very easy to understand code. I would just explain it once more. So what are we doing in this example? So in this example, we check if is logged in, which is a function, is true or false. So based on that condition, React will render welcome back if the user is logged in, or please sign in otherwise. Now we will learn handling forms and events. So React makes handling forms and user input straightforward by managing form state using the user state hook and handling events like form submission with event handlers. So I would just not explain much through theory. I would just write down the code here and explain that what's happening with the piece of code. So yeah, start writing with me. So I would just declare a function named as form, and then I would just take input from the user. You need to handle the error also. So I am just writing the code, and then I would explain you how to handle that also. I'm just passing the argument name here, and yeah, now I would just type the return statement. I have just completed all the stuffs. Now we would just write the export statement. Now it is showing two errors. Now we just need to remove the previous export statement that we used, that is export default greeting. So I have just removed that. Now also it's showing two error. So I would just see what are the errors it is showing. So we can just go to the live server and check in which line. So yeah, it's showing on the line number 42. So we would go through line number 42. Line number 42. So yeah, in place of this semicolon would be there. So just I removed that uh, and placed semicolon in here, and now we would just check our page and refresh it. So yeah, I would just type my name and submit. Hello. So you can see that it is showing hello. So I would just see is there any error in there, because it should display my name. And why is there any error in here? I would just see it. Just give me a minute. I'm not getting what is coming. I would just go through once. Uh, Actually, what's the error? I am not getting it. Let's. It should display the name I have submitted, but why it's not displaying? I would just go through it once. So I have just figured out the error I was committing while in this code. So it was a minute error. I have just resolved it, and now I would show you the result. So on the live server, you can see I have typed my name. So I would just type once more. Yeah, and on pressing the submit button, it prompts me with an alert message with the name with hello and the name of the user. So I would just press the submit button now. So on pressing submit button, it alerts me with a prompt message saying hello Atharv, and it is now completed. Okay, so yeah, in these example, so what we are learning in these examples, so in this example we are capturing the user's input using the on change event and updating the name state. So when the form is submitted, an alert will display the user's name. So that's it, and now I am done with what we have just studied, and I would just conclude the video. And then, okay, yeah, so all right, we have covered a lot today, from basics of setting up a React app, and just I would just open the React W3 Schools website, from where you can just have a look and just go through these websites so you have a better idea of the React tutorial. So, all right, we have covered a lot today, from basics of setting up a React app, understanding components, JSX, and state management, all the way to more advanced topics like hooks and context API. So, I hope you now feel more confident in using React to build interactive dynamic web applications. And also, one thing, remember, the key to mastering React is practice. So I encourage you to experiment with what you have learned today and build something small, add new features, and see how React handles different challenges. Also, check out the official React documentation and stay updated with the community for best practices and new features. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And I would happy to help. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future tutorials. Thanks for watching and see you next time.